Project 15. This project involves a embedded if statement. You can do it in other ways when you have three states, but most if statements have if, then. So if it's true, then it's one thing, and if it's false, it's another thing. And so I always use the little if box. So first thing we need to do to set this up is, let me note it, I made this all larger, and let me make this a little to meet that. There are two tabs down here, two sheets, order sheet and the discount sheet, and they're already set up for you. And the discount is if it's less than $500, you don't get a discount. If the paint you buy is between $500 and less than $1,000, then you get a 5% discount. If you spend over $1,000, you get a 10% discount. So there's three states here, and most if statements do just two states: if, true, false. And so we have to have an embedded if statement. An embedded meaning it is in the last part of the box, and I'll show you. But before we do that, let's extend the price here. That would be equals this times that, the quantity, fill down. Okay, and then I'm going to total it. Okay, and now I'm going to need the if statement. I made that yellow because I'm going to be clicking on that quite often. And today's date, you can do, that's simple. That would be equals now, beginning parentheses, end parentheses. That's all you have to do for today's date. And then 10% penalty after, I can't remember what the project said. I need to make this larger so I can fit it in there. Would be equal, the one above it. That's the simplest way to do it. Let's say it's 10 days. I don't know. Plus 10 days. Okay. Now, for the if statement right here, I'm going to go to the f of x here. There's also, you can go up to formulas, either one. And usually if is one of the most prevalent ones used, so it's usually on here. Okay, and this is the typical if box. It's the logical test is first, and then you tell it what to do if it's true, and you tell it what to do if it's false. But in this case, we'll have true, and then we'll have to put a whole new if statement in the if it's false. It's because there's three states instead of the usual two. So the first logical test is if this right here is greater than, and this is giving you practice going from one sheet to another. Okay, if it's greater than, let me move this out of the way, then 500, let's start with the 1,000. If it's greater than 1,000, if it's that true, then you're going to do the subtotal times, and you can either go to the other sheet, this gives you practice going to other sheets, 10%, okay, and if it's false, you have a whole nother if statement, and so you have to type it just like it looks up here. If, without the equal, parentheses, click on the yellow again, the subtotal. If that is greater than, go to the other sheet. Well, you can't really do that because it's several different numbers here. So if it's greater than, we'll just type in 500. Start again. If, parentheses, this statement right here, this yellow one, the subtotal, is greater than 500. Okay, if that's true, then it's going to be this yellow times the discount. This time I'll just put 0.05, and then put comma, and then if it's false, then it's nothing, because all that's left is the less than 500. So then put end of parentheses. So if you'll note here, you can't hardly see it, but it's up here. It's from this point on. If this number here is greater than 500, then it's that number times 5% discount. And if it's false, then, so every true if statement has three parts, just like on this little box. It's the logical test, then comma, if it's true, comma, and if it's false. And so then you would hit OK. And I can make currency on here, and I do have this nice thing here that I can just click up here. It's faster than it used to be. Go to currency, and that matches everything here. And so then the final price would be equal to the subtotal minus the discount. So that's simple enough. Now you can check yourself. Let's